He's sifting out the rubbish or the things that have expired. He's refining our faith in the knowledge of who he is and exactly what he's capable of. And he's expanding our capacity so that he can fill it with more of the things that he reserves for those who are willing to answer his call. Welcome back. I'm Deborah. This is Forward Movements. And here we discuss all things faith, the highs, the lows, and all that falls in between. So for those of you savvy enough to have noticed, we've had a name change on the channel. So we've gone from Peace of Love to Forward Movements. And the reason for that is because they are now growing into their own entities. So Peace of Love is still in existence, and it is a faith-based jewelry and wall art brand. And Forward Movements is more so about the faith. It's a faith walk development, hence the F.W.D. And that is also growing in its own direction. So it's time to allow the two to take up their own spaces in their own directions. So hence the name change. So now that's covered, please remember to leave a little comment, like, share, subscribe, unless you've already done so, if you're enjoying the content so far. That will bless me greatly and hopefully help the algorithm to bless others as well. Let's get straight into it. Now, I've been through some stuff in life, but this is a season that's like none other. And I'm calling it the season of the great shaking. There's been weeks where I think I've described it as rough, but these last couple of weeks have had me tripping. I've found myself multiple times back in that same spot, right next to Peter in Matthew 14, verse 30, where after he's averted his attention from Christ to the strength of the wind and the storm and the seas and the high waves around him, when he then becomes afraid and starts to sink. As he starts to sink, he says, "Lord, save me." And the scripture depicts an immediate response from Jesus, who reaches out to grab him, to catch him, and they both then head into the boat. But the question is, what happens when the response we're waiting for amidst the shaking isn't feeling as immediate as we'd like it to be? When the high winds and the strong waves are all having their way, with us throwing us high and low, back and forth, to and fro, so much so we don't know which way is up or which direction is even land. Well, for me, it's been something along the lines of the story in Mark 4, where in another ferocious storm, the panic mode disciples wake a Jesus who was sleeping, clearly undeterred by the noise and all the turbulence. And once awake, after rebuking the winds and calming the seas, just like he did with Peter, Jesus then tells them off for their lack of faith, even whilst they were in his presence. And that's been me, the panic mode disciple. And it's had all the wheels spinning out of control. If this is sounding familiar to you, please let me know in the comments. For sure I can't be the only one out here spinning and ugly crying under all this pressure. It's times like these, that are so heavy, so weighty, that when push comes to shove, we're made to question how deeply are we knowing that not only is he our Messiah, but that he's also God over all of creation. It's easy for us to declare and believe when things are running smooth, but when that wind is roaring and the waves are giants and your boat is filling with water and threatening to capsize altogether, how easily does it come to our memory to rebuke the storm in our minds and to command that peace be still in our hearts? This is definitely the season where we are being taught that even with Jesus residing within us, we do still hit these storms, sometimes back to back, one straight after the other. And in the times he seems quiet, I think these are the times that he's training us in using the very authority he has already given to us to rebuke the chaos and to declare peace over that situation and then take our victory. It is all about perception and what we choose to focus our attention on in any given moment. Because in reality, when God starts or allows a great stirring or shaking to take place, he's usually doing three things. He's sifting out the rubbish or the things that have expired. He's refining our faith in the knowledge of who he is and exactly what he's capable of. And he's expanding our capacity so that he can fill it with more of the things that he reserves for those who are willing to answer his call. In Hebrews 12, from verse 25 onwards, it explains that things that are of God's kingdom cannot be moved or shaken. It's only the things that are outside of it that will fall apart in the shaking. And this is the very purpose of the shaking, to rid the things that aren't of him. And it's only when we're steadfast in his righteousness that we remain intact, even in the midst of the great storms and the great turbulence and the great shaking. Because in Psalm 62 verse 6, it says, "He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved." Psalm 16 verse 8 says, "I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I will not be shaken." And in Psalm 46 verses 1 to 5, it talks about God being our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth is being removed and the mountains are being carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling. Like, do you know how much turbulence, how much uproar, how much upset that must be? But verse 4 goes on to say, "There is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God." And that is the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. You know, sometimes it doesn't seem it, but in each and every storm or time of trouble that we go through, God is right there in the midst of it all. And as we keep our focus on Christ, we empower our faith to withstand the shaking and to stand its ground in the authority that he has given us. So, by all means, we should feel all the feels, including the ones that feel like he's not there or paying attention to what's going on. But we should swiftly remind ourselves of the truth that He is and always will be with us because he has said so. He'll never leave us or forsake us, especially in times of trouble. We will sometimes forget that because, well, our fleshly responses can become so overwhelming, and that's okay. It's our natural state. But we should hold on to the knowledge that we need not stay troubled because Christ has told us that he has overcome the world. That includes our troubles and strife, but also our emotions, our feelings, our fleshly states, our moments of fear and panic, and our faithlessness. So if you're in the eye of the storm, do everything you can to ensure that your eyes are focused only on Jesus, and then all eyes will soon see what he's preparing to demonstrate in you, for you, and through you. I hope this has blessed you. Share this word with one, bless another, and let's together uncover the power of steadfast faith as we break through and overcome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment,